I don't care what you say. It's hard to win on the road. And this team continues to just keep on keeping on. 3-1 in the Big 12. They're going to keep that ranking by their name. And I think they got a shot to win at Houston. Let's talk about it though. This is Locked On West Virginia, baby.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up? Welcome back in, guys. My name's Mountaineer Paul. I am your host. You're at Locked On West Virginia. What a win, baby. I was excited to see the way the team finished the game, even though they had so many bad fouls. It seemed like at times the refs were against us, but I think as a fan, that's just kind of how we feel, right? The refs are against us, but, this team didn't play smart at times, and Colorado really played tough at home, and they wanted this game. Nobody wants to be 0-4 in conference, guys, and this is a team that's above 500 as a squad. I mean, Colorado was 9-5 coming into this. It's not like they were terrible. So, we knew they were going to give us some fight. And they had given other teams in the league fight that were pretty good. So big win for West Virginia, in my opinion, here. And they continue to really just win against all odds, man. Even against teams maybe a little bit lesser than them, they continue to crush it. I want to thank Sean Uphold, who is one of my good friends. He is going to put in the chat a Discord link. At least he's going to try. I'm making it free for the next 24 hours or so. If you want, any kind of inside info as to the Mountaineers, things as far as portal news, obviously recruiting news, different things like that. That's kind of what I'm into, along with other sensitive intel. That's going to be something you can jump into. I've also posted it on my X account at Paul Mountaineer, and you can jump in there for free right now for the next 24 hours. It will not charge you going forward. It will be a complete outside service that's going to be used for that. That won't start until February, but I want people to see that I am able to, what I do in here. I'll bring screenshots in sometimes and kind of prove to you guys like, hey, I'm actually talking to this guy, or hey, I actually had this conversation. It'll be a lot of that. And it'll also be predictions on certain things. So if you want to be a part of that, certainly get into my Discord server, and we will have a good time in there. So that's that. Thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen, and for being part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We talk about your team, the Mountaineers, every single day, brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download the Game Time app today. And ask yourself this: what time is it? It's game time. All right, guys. So West Virginia with the win on the road at Colorado, improving to 12-3 on the year and 3-1 in conference. Who saw this coming? Because I think a lot of people questioned this team's tournament ability, or would they have the measure to make it to the tournament? They've proven they're the tournament team and possibly more. I continue to get more worried as the year goes on. It's just not sustainable. It's like how they say NIL is not a sustainable model. Well, I feel that the way this team is having to play is not a sustainable model with 5, 6, 7 guys. Once you're into the NCAA tournament, absolutely. You can play with 6 guys in the NCAA tournament if you get your rotations right. Obviously, it's going to be a lot of minutes. But, man, when you've got 10, 11, 13, 12, it's maybe even 14. How many games we got left? There's 20 of them, and we're 3-1. 16 left. Yeah, 16 games left, guys, in the league. There's no way in this Big 12 that this team is going to be able to continue to win at this level with only playing 6 or 7 guys. Joeseph Yesufu was a revelation today. Obviously, Javon Small, I don't want it to get to the point to where we don't appreciate what he does for this team. It's not that he's an afterthought. I just want to talk about Yesufu first here. I mean, what he did today was really incredible against tough defense, man. Colorado came to play. Like I said, they didn't want to go 0-4 in conference. 28 minutes. That's starters minutes. That's starters minutes. 18 points for Yesufu. Jonathan Powell had 10, although he kind of fell off in the second half again. Eduardo Andre had another really, really good game. I was really glad to see that out of him because, look, man, he has been huge for this team at times, and continues to be what I consider just a revelation as far as he's kind of come out of nowhere and continued to play at a high level. He had a bad game last week, but he bounced right back, right, against Arizona. He had a bad game. I think, the target was a little more on his back against Arizona, and they've got such big dudes, strong guys there that maybe he just wasn't ready for that. Today he fouled out. That was a bad foul at the end of the game on his part against a guy that he didn't have to foul. But overall, Andre playing extremely well as a rim protector, and 12 points from him is an absolute luxury. If you can get double figures from Eduardo Andre, you're going to win a lot of games. But Yesufu, man, 28 minutes, 3 rebounds, 18 points, played really tough defense. He went to the free throw line several times. Without Joeseph Yesufu, we don't win this game. Absolutely, period. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So this is a guy that's in his 6th year of college basketball that's played a ton of basketball. He's been in a lot of big games. So it's not a surprise that he was able to pull this out of his bag. And we need this. We need a second ball handler like you can't believe. And he was able to bring the ball up the floor. We were able to move Javon off the ball. And look, Javon Small, he could have probably scored 40 in this game. But not only did he have to be our second best defender, maybe third if you consider Andre. He's right there within this. I mean, look, what he does on defense, what Sincere Harris does on defense, and what Andre does on defense, and even Toby Okani plays really good defense, and so do all of them do. But I think you can make a case that Javon Small is one of our 2 best defenders. He locks people down. He's so pesky, and you can't have a guy outputting that much effort on defense and offense. It's got to be one or the other, or you've got to flip. You've got to have like a guy that maybe you put him off the ball and let him play defense for a few minutes at a time while he rests on the offensive end. You just can't go 100% at both ends for an entire game. It's just not possible. Very few athletes can do it in the history of basketball. Michael Jordan was pretty good at it. LeBron has been pretty good at it, but like we're talking about guys who have elite genetics, train extremely hard. Kobe Bryant was good at it, but like Javon Small is a point guard. So not only does he have to bring the ball up the floor every time, they have figured out, because we're so short in the rotation, let's just guard Javon Small 40 feet. Let's just make him beat the press every single time and then initiate offense when 5 or 10 seconds have elapsed off the clock. That's going to be every team's game plan against this shortened roster going forward. And the thing is there's not really an answer for it right now, unless Joeseph Yesufu can continue to play like he did tonight. We need a secondary ball handler. Sincere Harris is not really that. Toby Okani is not really that. So Auer is a defensive liability, and certainly can hit the 3. But, man, you saw today he was a liability on defense at times. So there's issues with this team that, against a team with the right answers, we're going to have a hard time winning, because Tucker DeVries is an extra ball handler that we don't have. He's an extra really good to elite defender, that we don't have. These are things I didn't know about Tucker coming in, but Tucker was, he was our best passing lanes guy. He gets into the passing lanes better than anybody else on the team. And we don't have that anymore. He's a glue guy. He gets the extra rebounds. And, oh, by the way, he can shoot it from 40 feet. Not 40, but you know what I'm saying. So, there's a lot that teams are figuring out against this team as more data comes in on West Virginia. We're so Javon Small heavy and reliant that if teams tire him out, they're able to make these runs in the second half. I seen somebody ask, why is it that West Virginia puts their foot on the gas for the first half, and then in the second half teams make these runs? It's because the first half our team is bouncy. They're rested. They're excited. They jump out to these leads with no bench and injuries. We're not able to rotate guys in and out. No KJ Tenner today again, which I predicted and told you guys. Well, some of you guys, and you, if you're in the chat, and how many people did I tell you he was out because I knew he was out? Anyway, that's just a little small thing. That's one thing you'll get in the Discord, like things like that when I find, because obviously I do have an end there. So there are people that are in private chats with me that I knew that KJ was going to be out and told him about. Obviously, I didn't report it publicly because I told KJ wouldn't do that. But anyways, going forward, I think this is a team that is still going to be dangerous. I love a lot about us. But on the other side of the break, let's talk about this schedule coming up really quick. Then I'll give you some transfer portal confidence meter predictions that you don't want to miss. And I'll give you my final thoughts too. Stick around. This is Locked On West Virginia. And this episode of West Virginia, Locked On West Virginia, is brought to you by TurboTax. This message is from TurboTax, guys. Taxes was dealing with piles of paperwork and frustrating forms. It used to be. And then waiting and wondering and worrying if you were going to get any money and back. Now Taxes is easily uploading your forms to TurboTax expert who's matched to your unique tax situation. An expert who's backed by the latest technology with cross-checks, millions of data points for 100% accuracy. While they work on your taxes, you get real-time updates on their progress. And you get the most money back guaranteed. All while you go about your day. No stressing, no worrying, no waiting. Now, this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. Get an expert now at TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live Full Service, real-time updates in iOS mobile app only. See guaranteed details at TurboTax.com/guarantees. All right, so here we are, Locked On West Virginia. Thanks for being here. Okay, so 12-3 is a good record that I don't think a lot of us had for this team going forward. I think, first of all, let's talk about the future of the team. A lot of people want to know who's going to play going forward, what's going on. I think, I'd be surprised if KJ wasn't back for Houston. That's going to help in a lot of ways. He's a guy that can give us some scoring punch, I think, once he gets more comfortable. Certainly, and obviously an extra ball handler that we absolutely need. Now, maybe Yesufu moves up and takes some of those minutes because of what he did today. He absolutely deserves to. But KJ does some things for us that Yesufu doesn't. And he's also a really good defender. For his size, he's a great defender. So certainly there's a lot that you can get from a guy like KJ Tenner. And look, he's being groomed and under the best point guard in the country right now, in Javon Small. So a lot to learn and a lot to watch and see. And I'm enjoying watching this kid grow, and hopefully he comes back from this injury 100%, because that was a hard shot that he took. And, of course, it was a former Mountaineer that gave it to him in Sumanik. At least that's my assumption. I haven't confirmed that. But, I mean, the shot that had hurt him, I think, was the Sumanik shot. Going forward to the two hardest games of the year by far coming up. You can make a case that on the road at Kansas was, but on the road at Houston is going to be just as difficult. This is a team that is a national championship contender. They have an incredible home record the last couple of years. I think they've only lost one or two games at home the last couple of years. And they're absolutely destroying teams right now. I mean, you look at the last 4 games they played, they haven't had a team within 20 points. They beat Oklahoma State 60-47. They beat BYU by 30 points. They beat Houston or TCU by 21 points. They beat Kansas State by 30 points. So they're completely destroying teams in the Big 12. And if you go back to further, actually, their margin of victory might be the biggest in the country. Let's go back to November. Let's see. There's November. Let's go back to November here. This is incredible, man. Like, they've been destroying cats, haven't they? Look Lord have mercy. They start Toledo. They beat 78-49. Texas A&M Corpus Christi. They beat 87-51. Oklahoma State 60-47. BYU 86-55. TCU 65-46. Kansas State 87-57. Oh man, what a squad we're having to go up against here. And I mean, when you look at it, they do everything so well. They're 12-3 like we are, but man, they're really good. And it's the same. It's the same guys. They've got literally 7, 8, 9 guys. They go 12, 13 deep. I mean, they play every game anywhere from 11 to 12 guys. I mean, it goes from L.J. Cryer to Joseph Tugler to Javon Roberts to Emmanuel Sharp to Milos Uzan. They kill it. Javier Francis, Malik Wilson, Mercy Miller. Like, they absolutely have so many guys that would be starters everywhere else. And you look at this last game against Kansas State. Javon Roberts goes for 6, 10, 6, and 3. Joseph Tugler, one of the best forwards in the country, 13, 10, and 2. L.J. Cryer, usually one of the best three-point shooters in the country, had 11 points, 2 assists, and a rebound. Didn't even really need him. Manuel Sharp, one of the best two-way defenders, two-way players in the country, 15, 4, and 1. Milos Uzan, 8, 3, and 2. Terrence Arsenault, sorry, hard to say his name sometimes, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Javier Francis scored 11. Malik Wilson scored 7. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys that were really close to double figures. It's going to be a tough game to win, but it's winnable. And unfortunately, we're going to continue to do it without Tucker, without Stone, right? I mean, that's the assumption we have to make so far. First of all, I'm never going to say 100% something's going to happen for sure, but I would be surprised if Tucker comes back this year. I would also be surprised if Stone comes back this year, because today was the last game that either could have played without burning their red shirt. Let me say that again. Today was the last game that college basketball teams or players can play without burning their red shirt. If they were going to play, it would have been up until today, right? Did we not need the help? Can you see how desperate we were for bodies today? Don't you think that if we were close to getting one of those guys back, you don't think Darren DeVries would have had him in the game? A lot of people were holding on to this comment that he said the other day that everybody's really close to being healthy. What's he supposed to say? Well, we're going to be playing with 6 and let people game plan for that. Like, he's obviously going to say that because that's within the rules. You have to be vague. So everybody latched on to what he said, and I just laughed because I'm like, even if it was true, nobody really knows and have to prepare for both either way. But I would say, most coaches realize at this point, knowing the rules, knowing that the players can play up until today or this game in the season and still have a red shirt, it's 50% mark. So both can still red shirt. Both probably will. I don't know what Stone will do. I'm pretty sure Tucker would come back. I'd be kind of surprised if he didn't, as long as his dad didn't take another job or move on or get fired. I mean, if we lose every game from here on out or something crazy would happen, which it wouldn't happen. But obviously, I would expect Tucker to come back. I don't know about Stone. I don't. Next year, we'll be in a position to bring in more people like Tucker. And would Stone be expendable at that point? I know he scored 20 a game, but I don't know how highly rated he actually was coming in and all that. So it's just a question I'm throwing out there. I'm not saying he's not worth this roster spot or anything. So, but yeah, these are things that if you didn't know, now you know. Up next on Locked On West Virginia, since this segment took so long, let's get to my portal confidence meter. Stick around. And this episode is also going to be brought to you by Game Time. Attending the new 12-team college football playoff games is an incredible experience that brings fans together like never before. I remember the excitement of past playoff games and can't wait to make new memories with the updated format and extra teams involved. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets easier for events. It filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands and thousands of tickets. Recently, I used Game Time Picks to find tickets for an upcoming game. Browsing through the deals was a breeze for me, and I found great value for all kinds of seats around the venue. The super deal in particular stood out the best value for the event. I love that I could see the seats before buying in the app, that panoramic 360-degree view. And the app shows the total cost up front with all-in pricing toggled on. No surprise fees at checkout, plus the on-time ticket delivery at lowest prices guarantee gave me complete peace of mind, which is rare for me. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE, Locked On College, for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed, and ask yourself this question. What time is it? It's game time. EA Sports. It's in the game. All right, so confidence meter time. And this is a football topic, obviously, which one thing I love about this show is I can do either or both. First of all, to put a bow on the basketball squad, really thing, I forgot that one more thing I wanted to add. I think this team going forward really quick before we move on, and I'll get to the confidence meter too. I think a reasonable expectation for the next few games for this team is West Virginia's got a shot to win every game on the schedule. They do. But I think, I'm going to predict this team to either go 2-4 or 3-3 over the next 6. But they're going to win a lot of games towards the back end of the schedule. But I think over the next 6 games, you can see you got Houston, Iowa State. I think you go 0-2 here if you're just being reasonable. Then I think you win 2 in a row on the back of those 2, Arizona State and Kansas State. That's 2-2. Then I think you lose again to Houston, and then you beat Cincinnati, right? So, and then from there on, I think you can beat TCU and Utah and BYU and Baylor. I do. I think you can beat all those guys along with Cincinnati. So, I think these next few games are going to be rough for us. Maybe we go 2-4 over the next 6. Was it 2-4? Or wait a second. Let me look at this again. Houston, Iowa State, that's 0-2. Arizona State, and Kansas State, that's 2-2. Houston and Cincinnati, that's 3-3. So I'm sorry, 3-3 over the next 6 is my prediction for this team, which still is pretty good. That puts us at 15-6. That's really good. We'll take that, and certainly we could do better. I wouldn't be shocked. This is my little prediction. Then I think you're 15-6. Houston makes you 15-7. 16-7 Cincinnati, 17-7 TCU. I think we go 18-7 at Utah. Maybe we drop one at BYU. That's 18-8. Maybe we win at Baylor. That's 19-8. 20-8 Cincinnati. We're on pace here to win 22 games, guys. 23 games ish. The way things are going, and that's if we just go 3-3 over the next 6 games. That's pretty dang reasonable. So it's starting to shape up nice for this team. But look, the rotations, we have to get at least one guy back somehow. I don't know how, but hopefully we can get Stone back. Or if Yesufu can continue to play like he's playing, that'll be just as good. Okay, let's move on. Portal confidence meter time. So there are 3 players that I think, most people would know about right now that West Virginia has been involved with. Let's start off with Justice Finkley, the Texas defensive end who has been dealing with folks through an intermediary agency. I have been in contact with him and finally got a hold of him right before the game today. And I am told that West Virginia is an option, but at this point in time, not the number one option for him. I don't know what that means. He could certainly commit to West Virginia, but I'm told that he has a better offer somewhere else. So we'll see if he takes it. But the one thing caveat they gave me was that there is one. So he is on hold because that team is waiting on somebody to either sign or not that they are in the race for. And so it's like a domino effect. Just like West Virginia sent out an offer today to Eck, Keenan Eck, defensive end out of JUCO, right? I believe that offer went out when West Virginia got the news about Finkley, Justice Finkley. I think that's the logical, this is a defensive end. They're both defensive ends, or on edge players. So I think, West Virginia is going to wait and see what happens with him. But my confidence meter on Finkley is I'll give it a 4 out of 10 for now, just because if the other team doesn't, who they feel confident they're going to miss on, so they'll probably take Finkley instead. So if that's the case, then I think he moves on and goes to West Virginia. Just my opinion. Now, this is me obviously parsing through a lot of info, and I don't have a firm yes or no. So, and keep in mind also, they see me as the media. So even though I don't see myself that way at all, I'm just a regular guy that works for a company, that also loves West Virginia football and is a fan. So it's like, I don't know what you call me, a YouTuber, I guess. But anyway, I don't like to say I'm with the media because I don't have credentials. I don't, go to games and write articles about that are necessarily negative all the time or anything like that. So anyway, let's move on to Keenan Eck, a guy that just announced today he got an offer from West Virginia. He visited probably a little over a week ago, I think it was, to West Virginia. And let's see where's our conversation? Let me get back to it. So he was on the plane. He just left. He was really excited about the West Virginia offer, but he did tell me this: I'll be taking all my visits. And so he hasn't graduated quite yet. So he's in a situation. So the way it works at JUCO is you have to get your degree from JUCO before you can commit to a team. There's another player that West Virginia is involved with. Actually, there's a fourth player I should mention, Adam Tomczyk. So let me go on Eck. Let me go Keenan Eck first. So Keenan Eck is a really good edge player out of JUCO. Let me go see where he's at again. Let's see. So he's out of Citrus College, 6'5", 235. He absolutely screams off the edge, guys. He really does. He's 79 inch wingspan. He had 10 sacks, 20 pressures, 14 tackles for loss. He's really good. He really is. He's a JUCO player, but he's ready for the next step. I'm going to give this one a solid 7 out of 10 in confidence. I think there's a good shot we land him, but I wouldn't say 100% because at West Virginia, he's probably going to be behind the 8 ball on a starting position, but certainly have a chance to win the job. I think they told him that. If he goes to some of these other schools that are offering him that are a little bit lower on the totem pole, like you look at some of the other offers he's gotten offers from like Sacramento State. And I know these aren't flattering to hear alongside West Virginia, Montana State. He's got Colorado State. So there's another Division I one. And there's a couple other D1 schools too. UNLV is on here. So there's a couple other ones too. So point being is there may be opportunities for him to start elsewhere. But look, if you go put on his tape, he looks similar to who would I compare him to? Really nobody that we've had recently as an edge rusher he's 6'5", like I said. He's not as filled out as like Sean Martin was, who was like a chiseled Greek god. This guy is more lean, 235, right? He's like a linebacker size. So, I like I said, 6'5", 235. I don't really have a great comparison for him off the top of my head, but certainly he's really – the only thing is in run support, different things like that. I don't know how well he would do in the Big 12. So, but coming off the edge, he's really fast. So just check him out if you get a chance. 7 out of 10 because I think we're his best offer by far. As long as it's, and I haven't asked him this, I don't know if it's like a walk-on offer or a Scully, but I'm pretty sure it's a Scully, so that's a good one. Next, we go to, obviously, who did I just mention a minute ago? Oh, yeah, Adam Tomczyk. who is one of my favorite players that we've offered as well. This is another JUCO guy, but he's getting recruited by everybody. He's got certainly a ton of offers. Arizona is on there. Utah State's on there. Who else is offering him, man? I'm trying to find him. At White right in the middle of this. I think Baylor, it looks like, is on here. A couple others. Like, he's got good offers. Obviously, he wouldn't be getting these offers if he wasn't a good player. And he is a big boy, 6'4", 250 pounds. He is a perfect what you would consider edge guy for the 3-3-5 defense, an odd stack defensive line piece. I would also put him at a 7 out of 10 confidence. Actually, let me bump that up to 9 because, look, I'm pretty sure he'll come. It's all about West Virginia on this one. Like, if somebody else were to come in that time frame, I don't know, like, what their situation is, how many spots they have left, like, because I'm pretty sure he'll come. It's just we'll see what West Virginia does, but I've got a lot of confidence in him as well. And like I continue to talk with him. So we just spoke today. So I think, there's a lot to wait for, but don't be surprised if you see his name in the next week or two. Certainly. Next on the list is a guy that I think everybody knows we need and want. Offensive tackle William Reed out of Princeton, who is a freight train of an offensive lineman. Certainly one of the best, if not the best in the portal, in my opinion, that's available. He would anchor one of the right or left sides of our offensive line, and a guy that I really, really want. And look, if we signed him, out of everybody we've signed, he would by far be my favorite player. That's how confident I am in him. Just go turn on the tape. If you get a chance to watch William Reed on tape, it's like nothing you've seen since Zach Frazier. Now, he did it at Princeton, and I get that. And I don't want to be overly positive, but I just have a hard time with this one because I love O-linemen, first of all. That's why me and Xavier Bosley are so cool. But, also because I just love his film. I mean, he really drives people into the dirt. He's physical and just he's so physical, the way he punches people and just wrecks people. He would be a beloved figure at West Virginia. His big things were, I want a place where I know I'm going to start. I need a place where I can go to the NFL from. We can offer both of those. But we're in contention with, unfortunately, two teams that are at better points in their program than where we are right now. And that's what scares me the most. Georgia Tech has won a lot of games here recently. They've got a great, great thing going there. I mean, you look at what they've done the last couple of years, obviously. It's impressive. It really is. I can't really speak on what Brent Key has done enough. I mean, he's really changed a program that had been so bad. It's not as impressive as what like Leipold did at Kansas, but it's in that conversation like, holy cow, Brent Key changed that program in Georgia Tech that was middling for like 20 years that ran a triple option. So like he had to really just flip everything around. And then they obviously brought in the transfer portal, made that possible. And so the Haynes King comes in, one of the best dual threat quarterbacks in the country. He comes in, and obviously the rest is history, and they've been really good the last couple years. So, okay, now the other team we're up against is Arizona State, Kenny Dillingham. That's a scary prospect. How would you like to be recruiting against him right now? That guy's got it. He's got it cooking right now, don't he? So Kenny Dillingham is a guy I think anybody would want as their head coach. I'll be shocked if he doesn't get a bigger offer anytime. I was surprised nobody came after him this offseason. If a bigger job came open, he would be on a short list for me. He's fiery. He's good at what he does, obviously. He turned Arizona State into the best team in the Big 12 in year one. What? It's insanity to me. So obviously we're up against that too. And I mean, it's such a great recruiting tool. Oh yeah, we were in the playoff. Like, holy cow, dude. Like, how do you go against it? I don't know. So my confidence meter for Will is about a 5 out of 10. I think it's a coin flip. I really do. I think he told me. I'll tell you what he told me that was good that I can share. He said West Virginia's facilities were the best he'd ever seen. They were incredible. The staff has got a good thing going on right here, right now, and we're definitely in the top three with those other two schools. That's what I can tell you. Outside of that, he's not let me in on anything else, and like he hasn't told me what's going to happen, right? So, and if he did, I couldn't share it, obviously, and I would keep that to myself for him. So here we go, right? We need him, and he knows this because I've told him several times. So we'll see what happens with it, but it's going to be interesting the next few days, and up to let's just keep an eye on all three of these prospects over the next week, or all four of these guys over the next week, and see what happens. Love to land all four. I think it would really make our roster whole if we landed all four, because we would get D-line, we'd get O-line, and we'd have a lot to play with as far as weapons. But there's a lot to wonder about. Don't forget, guys, my Discord, which is let's see if I can get the Discord in the chat real quick before we get off of here. I don't even know if I'm signed in on this laptop or not, to be honest with you, but I'm going to try. For those of you listening on podcast, go to discord.com or the app, the Discord app. And my server is, I have it on my X account as well. Yep, here it is right here, actually. Okay. Let me see what I can do. Let's see. Members. Let's see. All right. So let me see what I can. I'm trying to invite people. Let's see. Invite people. Let's see. Copy. Okay. All right. So in the chat right now, I'm going to put my Discord thing, my Discord link. It's free for right now. It won't always be free. What I'm going to do is make a secondary one. It's in the chat right now. What I'm going to do is make a secondary chat down the line after I prove to some of you guys that I know what I'm doing here. Even though I know you probably already believe in me, I'm going to give you guys some free love for a little while. Like just things I know about, things that I, whatever it is, as far as West Virginia football goes and basketball, insider kind of stuff that I know. I'm not saying I'm the only insider out there, but I get things. So anyway, if you want to be a part of my Discord for free right now, go to that link and sign up. Other than that, guys, thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen of the day, and for being a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where we talk about your team every single day. If I could get you to do one other thing, though, go to Locked On Big 12 next. Drake Toll leads the conversation in Big 12 news, and certainly is one of the best, if not the best, out there. Check out Locked On Big 12 on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast. Go to my Discord. It's free for now. If you want to chat with me, if you want to be able to get a hold of me and ask me questions, that's the best way to do it. For those of you on X, I posted it on X on my account. Check it out, and I'll see you next time. Have a great night, guys. The Mountaineers won. It's a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be. This episode's over, and I'm out of here.